So that's only, let's see, 26 minutes late. I'm so sorry. Yeah, technological problems. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I tried to go live and stream, and for some reason, YouTube kept on blocking my camera, telling me that I couldn't use it. And I still don't know exactly why that happened. Maybe someone who knows about this can explain it to me. But basically, what happened, it told me that the camera is being accessed somewhere else, and I couldn't go in and change it. It just refused to let me change it. So anyway, I went in through Edge somehow, Microsoft Edge, and then I could go in and start it and then change it while it was. I have no idea why it didn't work. I'm sorry. There were a few people who messaged me, and yeah, it's been some time since then. So that happens. I apologize. The whole idea is that I meditate every evening anyway, so it's just nice for me to go online and talk to other people and share, because I love talking about meditation, and it's nice to sit with others. There's something special that happens when you're not sitting alone, but when there's actually other people sitting with you. So I wanted to try doing that. Hopefully, let's see, does the sound work? Yeah, it looks like the sound is actually working. So everything seems to be good, except for being a little bit late. Today, I thought we'd just do a really simple sitting, like you can sit whatever technique you want. I will probably do 1 day per week that I'll do a kind of guided meditation. Today it won't be like that. Today it will just be, me sitting. And if you want to sit with me, it's 20 minutes sitting. And if anyone actually joins, you can ask questions later. That's perfectly fine. But it will be a normal 20-minute sitting, and then afterwards ask any questions that you'd like, and that would be fine. So let's see what we can do here. A timer. Turn off. So we'll do a 20-minute sitting, and basically what I see someone actually joined. Nice. So someone is still here. That's nice. I was just saying we're about to start, and it'll be a 20-minute sitting. I don't know if you want today, if we'll do any kind of guiding. I don't think so. I'll do that on Mondays, I think. So it'll be Mondays a bit more for beginners, but today will just be for anyone who wants to sit with me. And then afterwards, you can ask any kind of questions you like, or you can ask them before as well. But like I said, the stream started a bit late because I messed up with the streaming software somehow. Still don't know exactly what happened. So I hope you'll enjoy the sitting, and I'll put the timer on 20 minutes. So that was a quick 20 minutes. How did you feel? Did you have a nice sitting, or was there anything that came up you'd like to discuss or ask about? I see there's some people there. Nice. Again, I apologize. Something happened in the beginning with the technological part, so I couldn't actually get the streaming working. I think maybe it was some antivirus thing that prevented me from accessing my camera. And also, if you want to continue sitting, you just continue sitting. There's no need to stop if you don't want to. Okay, we have a question. So I noticed something over the past couple of months that occurred in this sitting also. Yes, tell us. Oh, yes. Okay, this is a good question. Yeah. So it's a number S31720 is asking. Basically, I have begun to feel incredible waves of tension playing through my face, especially around the eyes. It is especially the case when meditating, but now I have begun to notice even when not meditating. Current practice is around 50 minutes each morning. Um, yeah, this is. Uh, you're asking the very. Yeah, you have no idea how good I am suited to answer this question, because if you notice when I'm sitting, sometimes I do these kind of things, like I just twitch like that. So something happened to me. I think it was in 2010. It was basically when I attained what in Theravadan tradition called first path, and it just opened up this wave of stuff inside of me. I used to sit and I do like this. I just like shake like this and like almost fall over, and people would look at me like I'm absolutely crazy. And it's many people call this energy movement. What you're talking about is a very common thing. You feel it like pressure over your head. Many people talk about having a steel hat. It's like you have pressure on your head like this. You can get it like in chakra points in your face, where you look like this. Sometimes it manifests as jaw pain, tooth pain. You can have it pain here in your nose, ears. Sometimes it's very irritating. It can give you migraines like you've never felt before. I actually think this is one of the reasons that quite a few people have migraines and start meditating and get rid of them. And I think it's this whole thing that has something stuck. If you want to call it energies, I don't know if that's what it actually is, but it feels like energy. I actually call it, just like you, tension, some kind of friction, something that is like being stuck somehow. Not necessarily energy. It could be I just don't want to put a label to it. So let's see if there's uh, yes. So it's a very normal thing to have these sensations of movement, of pressure. Some people get really scared of them because it's something you're not used to, and it's. I mean, there's one. Without going into too much detail, there's like a map of progression in Theravada Buddhism that is very clear and really concise, and no matter what tradition you're practicing, you can kind of see how these patterns repeat themselves. And there's one part where it's very common to have bodily movements. I think it's the fourth or the third jnana, where basically I would be sitting and my body would do this. And I'd twist back. I'm like, what was that? And I'd sit again, I'd focus, and the body would twist like that. And you can see this if you go to intensive meditation retreat. Some people will just have weird movements, or the head. It would always be this side for me. And it would come at specific times, and like in this uh, map, if you want to believe in that. So it's perfectly normal. I would definitely not worry about it. It comes and it goes. For me, this has been going on for the last, yeah, since 2010, and it's been debilitating for me almost, because it got to the point where it's like I would feel strong pressure pulling down, and it would really be like pushing me down like this, which is why I don't call it energy, because that sounds something like that's something positive. Sorry, not positive. I don't mean that this is something negative. I mean that it's not like you gain some kind of power and now you're very powerful because you feel this movement. It's just something that happens, and I have never heard of anyone who has it have had it the way I like the shaking that I did. I've seen one person. One time I saw one monk that did exactly the same thing. My theory about this is not that I'm special or that I have superpowers. It's that I have three herniated discs in my neck, and this seems to be where the pressure comes, and so it goes and kind of squeezes through that point. So it could be because of that. I don't know. Most times when people have, like you say, pressure on the face, it can stay after it goes over. Um, if we were at a retreat, I'd say just keep on meditating and it will pass, because that's normally what happens when people have these things. They just keep on meditating. And you said you're meditating 50 minutes each morning, so that's like a solid practice for someone who's having a lay life, a normal life. And if you practice 50 minutes, then that would be enough to bring up these things. So yeah, very good. And it's like I said, it's perfectly normal. Don't worry about it. It comes, it goes. It's nothing dangerous. Actually, this has been when I meditate. That's where I mostly keep my awareness is on this feeling. It's really easy to meditate if you have this, because you just keep your awareness of that. Don't try to like force it. Don't try to stop it. Just be aware of it as a whole, kind of as it pulling and squeezing. And if it gets too uncomfortable, then just stop meditating. About Kundalini, yeah. So sorry, I'm sitting so far away the screen. I have to make this work better. There's yeah. So what SKH, I think it says. He's talking about Kundalini, and that's a very similar thing to what I was just discussing now. This tension that the person before was asking about. Did that answer your question, by the way? If there's anything else, then write it. But that's a lot of people would call this Kundalini. Kundalini is the kind of term that people just take everything that they feel that has to do with energy and like, okay, so this is Kundalini. Originally, I think it was used as like Kundalini, basically like the chakras and the spine aligning, and you would feel some kind of energy moving up and down, and you can really feel this sometimes. It feels like it's like a dong, and it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down, and some people feel it like they can be loud noises associated with Kundalini. And yeah, what I just spoke about, many people would call that Kundalini awakening, some good Kundalini energy. I try to not really use terms like that, because it's just it's like a bag of putting everything in there. It's like saying a car. Like, yeah, I know it's specific. There's like loads of cars, but we just say a vehicle. A vehicle could be a car, a bicycle, a truck. Like there could be so many different things. So I wouldn't try too much to put a label on it. Sunu, brother. Okay. Hi, Sunu. Nice to see you. Yeah, the idea that I have with these sittings is that I'll be doing one on Mondays and one on Thursdays. Mondays, it will be more for beginners. So very likely I do a very light guided meditation. I have my own way of practicing, and I will be sharing that more on Mondays. On Thursdays like this, it's just I love sitting. I do really enjoy it, and I like sitting with other people. I like talking about meditation, and I've sat so much that it's nice to be able to help others, because questions like the ones you're asking now are things that just it just comes up for everyone, but it's difficult when you're sitting alone at home, and you might not know how to ask, and you might be worried. It's very common that people get afraid, because you have this sense of this is me, this is what I feel like, and when you meditate, you stop feeling like that way. You don't feel this same sense of tightness, maybe that this was me, and like, am I here, or what this is this normal? And your thoughts, all of a sudden, your thoughts might start to change a little bit. They feel a bit different, and that can be really scary. So I just thought it'd be a nice idea to dedicate 2 days per week. At first, I thought about doing it. I mean, I would want to do it in one way every day. Would be really fun, but but I have my family and fiance and 2 kids also, and work, so it's difficult to tie up too much time. But I will from now on have Mondays and Thursdays dedicated to this. Yes, sitting is it's a really nice way to both start the day and end the day, or in the middle of the day. It's just I always feel good. No, I shouldn't say that. Well, if we want to go into that, there's a bit different between how people see meditation. If you go into more insight practice and more like I did when you meditated 10, 15 hours per day, then it's work. You definitely don't feel good every time after you sit then. But if you do it like short periods of time, like this 15, 20 minutes, it really helps calm you down and feel connection and feel love and peaceful. Like, yes, yes, it helps with those things. It's when you start doing it more intensely, then it becomes more work. It's basically you start breaking down all these things, and it's a process that I think too few people talk about. But meditation is not only uh, in the West we see meditation. You do it to create more, to become more successful, to run faster, to produce more, to focus more, to be more in the what do you call it, the zone or the be in flow, so like I can do more stuff. Whereas when we talk about it the way that it's practiced with the more intensive practice techniques, as in Buddhism, then it's really hard work, and it can mess with your brain and your mind and your sense of self, and it can be really, really scary. That's why it's nice to, if you do these things, you should have someone you can ask questions. And if you do like say 10 hours per day, you shouldn't do that alone at home the first time. I highly recommend you don't do that, because it can get very scary. And it's nice, you kind of need to have someone who's done that before. I'm not saying like you need to have me, I'm saying you should go to a center and actually have someone there with you, because when you sit that much, it can be very difficult and scary. If anyone has ever been so disenchanted in this stage that they have committed suicide, what you're talking about with the facial stuff, no, I haven't heard of that, but because it's not a big thing. But yes, there are people who have committed suicide after retreats that I know of. I know of people, monastics, who have committed suicide. But then you also have to think about it. It's not like they had nothing going in, meaning that they were just these happy people, and then they went and meditated a lot, and then they committed suicide. The times that I've heard of it, they've suffered from something before. Many times they went into it with depression. They would have had very common is that they stop taking their medicine, so they take some kind of antidepressant, and then they stop taking that. And when they stop taking that, they think that, okay, I'm going to meditate all the time now, so I don't need my medicine, and then they spiral out of control. So I know, I mean, I know 2 people that I know personally that committed suicide. Um, but again, that was not because of them meditating so much. It was because they had other stuff. Yeah, that happened. So one should be careful. Like I said, if you start feeling it's too much, ask for help. Like, don't think you're going to fix this yourself just by sitting more. You should really ask for help. And there's so many things that happen that are the same for everyone. And if you have someone who actually has been through it, it can be really helpful to yeah, to discuss it with them. Which is why I really recommend going to a retreat if you want to meditate more intensely. I'm reading here. Let's see. Oh, okay, so uh, someone's asking. I mean, sorry, it's I forgot your name, brother. It's so difficult for me to read at this distance. It's Sunu, brother. Sorry, it's getting a bit cold. I had forgotten the window open. Um, he's asking. He's seeing gurus when he's meditating, and he's wondering if it's just illusions. So this is also an interesting question, and this depends on who you ask. If you ask someone who is into visualizations and stuff, they might say that this is you contacting other dimensions, contacting those gurus. Some would say that it's you. They will use gurus or images of deities like gods to incorporate some kind of qualities of that god. So, okay, I'm probably wrong about this, but I think it's is it Ganesha that is the god of wisdom. So then they will focus on her to bring out the quality of wisdom. For instance, my personal opinion about having seeing things. Yes, no, it's fine. It's a good question. He's saying like, oh, it is just names. It doesn't matter, but it is true. Like for because a lot of people they will see things and hear things. So my opinion on everything is if I sit, it's kind of like when you really get into deep meditation, the mind just starts spitting stuff out. I've heard things that didn't happen where I was. I've seen things. It felt like I was at other places. I felt like I experienced it so real. And it's the thing, it just seems like the mind, when you start not focusing so strongly on me, just starts spitting out things because it has momentum, you know? It just keep on spitting. It's if you watch TikTok and you watch TikTok for 5 hours, your mind is gonna be like reacting, like constantly having like these images and flashing lights. If you stop watching TikTok, it's not like you stop watching and like that, you're like, oh, now I'm peaceful and calm. I stop watching TikTok. No, your mind is going to be racing and it's going to be having all these impressions. And it's the same thing. Even if you go to a center where you take away all like impressions and really try to calm down, the mind is still going to start spitting these things out. So I just see it as something natural that happens. It spits out these images and things and thoughts and ideas. And some people think that they mean something, and they might. My opinion again is that that's not what I'm after. Not after. I'm not after that. I'm not sitting to make contact with some higher being. I'm sitting to disassemble this sense of self and the things coming up and what I call distortions, which I'll talk more about in future evenings like this. And I have lots of videos coming up. If you look around here, this is actually my new studio that I renovated and fixed. So I'll be making a lot more videos within the next few weeks. It will coming up. Um, so I don't really look for contact with other things. I don't focus on past life. I simply, my opinion is that it doesn't really matter. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, it isn't. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't help you if you have an image of someone, a life from your past, and you think this was my past life. That's not going to make you a happier person. It just messes things up because now you're sitting and you're thinking about your past life and what maybe you did, and maybe you even start feeling guilty because in your past life you did this. So my general idea is that like with all those things, just let them go. It's just the mind spitting out things. It could be something important, but for me, I never really pay any attention to it. I think also because I just had so much of it, it just, yeah, just let it go and focus on whatever your meditation object is. Nice. So unless there's any other questions. Very nice, by the way. I enjoy discussions like this because it gives me a chance to refine my thinking as well. I used to talk so much about these kind of things when I was ordained and lived as a monk, but nowadays it's not as much as it was back then. I have my coaching students and some people around me that I talk to, but it's not at all like it was before, and I really enjoy it. It's fun for me. Yeah. So thank you. And next time will be on Monday. It will be at 8 o'clock. I will make sure that I get the technology working because I don't know what happened, but yeah, it will hopefully work on Monday, and then it will be a bit more guided. Go ahead, one more. It's fine. Write one more question. Okay, we can take it Monday if it's okay. It's getting a little bit later. It's 9 o'clock. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. We can do one more. I'll drink some tea. Ask me. Yes. Thank you. That's also he's saying that I'm one of the first people who don't get political. That's my thing. It doesn't matter what religion you have. It's completely beside this. This doesn't have to do with gods or anything past life, future life. We're just trying to be aware of right now. I think there's one more question coming. Here we go. Ah, oh, really? Okay, so find room. So there's a question about hiking in Sweden. Uh, yes, you can definitely hike in Sweden. There's loads of forest. In Norway, I mean, there's hiking trails that are amazing. And the nice thing about Sweden is that they have, like the government have on these hiking trails, especially if you go up north and go up into the mountains, they have huts that are like made with fireplaces. And usually I think you're supposed to leave wood when you leave, so you can actually walk and then stay in these huts for free during your hike. And you can take hikes for several days in Norway. Uh, I'm not sure if they have the same, but I know they have lots of hiking trails. I actually had some British friends who had a company where they did hiking tours up in the mountains, and they go up and hike for like weeks with them and guide them. So yeah, you can there's Sweden is beautiful for hiking. We have just around the corner here, we have a forest that is very beautiful, and they have hikes that are, I think, anywhere from a few kilometers to tens of kilometers. So we have a lot of forests in Sweden, like everywhere, and beautiful hiking paths, trails. So yeah, definitely, if you want to go hiking, take a camper. There's lots of place. We have allemansrätten. Oh, Sweden is a nice place. We have a law called allemansrätten, which is basically the right of the common person. It means that you can take a tent and you can set it up in any forest, unless it's surrounded by fence. You can't do it close to a house, and there's certain rules to what you can do. But you can set up a tent in any forest and sleep for one night. You have to clean up after yourself. You can make a fire, but there are rules about how you make the fire. And it's really a Swedish a thing that Sweden is famous for. But unfortunately, a lot of people are nowadays abusing it. Also, it was different when I was younger. Than they taught us at school, like what the rules were, and everyone was very careful. Nowadays, we have a lot of people who come here who also don't understand those rules, and they come as tourists, and they just go out and they oh, we can stay anywhere, and then they make a fire on a large stone, for instance. Problem is, you're not allowed to do that, because if you make a fire on a stone, it can crack, and there's marks on the stones, and so people it's not as I think there is a fear in Sweden that rule law might go away, but still you can, to this day, you can go out into the forest and just spend a night anywhere you like, pretty much. Nice. Yeah, we meditate Monday evening again. So thank you. Time for me to go to bed, and then I'll see you, whoever wants to join us, on Monday. Thank you very much. Sounds good. Bye, everyone.